My name is Tim Dillard, and I'll be your host for this webinar. I'm one of the inventors of Gobza, and I'm the chief Gobza evangelist for Gobza. What is Gobza? How to use Gobza? Who is Gobza? That's what this is about. You're here because someone referred you. This is not multi-level marketing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We're not against that. This has literally never been done before, and you'll see that after you sit through this. And it is going around the globe fairly quickly. We're a few weeks into our soft launch, and we already have some of the largest nonprofits, organizations, and corporations preparing to roll out Gobza. So, what is it? It's a new patent-pending way to make money on the internet for free. This is a look around the next corner of the internet, but we're not the ones saying that, and you just judge that for yourself. Everyone says, give me your elevator speech. Well, here it is. We've created a patent-pending new advertising medium where we take viral marketing and free advertising forever for everybody and create risk-free sales for businesses and commissions for everyone that participates, both residually and perpetually. Gobza works for all businesses, all nonprofits, and all people for free. Why is Gobza free? Why are we giving Gobza away for free? Gobza, as one man who should know said, may create its own economy. This is about leveling the playing field for all businesses on the one hand and creating income streams for anyone who does nothing more than pass the Gobza revolution onto their friends, followers, and contacts. That's why we are doing Gobza. We want to change things. We want to help restore balance. It's about the free market. It's about restoring true free enterprise. Our patent pending describes Gobza as a new advertising medium. Between you and me, the real why of why we're doing this is that Gobza is for the people, by the people, and of the people. This graph is the history of businesses attracting new business, without which all businesses go out of business. Every business, big and small, starts spending money on advertising or sales, whatever they're doing to attract new business. On the first day of that expenditure, their sales are zero. The business must keep spending these dollars 100% at risk until they create this thing up here called positive return on investment, or profit. No one in the history of advertising can tell you how long you need to keep spending that money. In the advertising and marketing world, we call this time between when you start spending money on advertising and the day that you get a profit, brand building, which really means you ain't making a profit yet. Now, what Gobza does is remove this top line because no business ever pays us a dime for advertising. We take all risk out of the advertising model. That's why our patent application describes Gobza as a brand new advertising medium. You cannot possibly overestimate that impact of this model as the first domino in a long line of dominoes called the global economy. If you take the risk out of advertising, you change the way business is done. You level the playing field for all businesses. No longer is it just about the company with the most money winning. So let's look at the history of commerce from the perspective of advertising. 40 years ago, the advertising world was dominated by 3 TV networks. If you could afford to get on one of these networks with your ad, you could literally sell pet rocks, and in 1978, a man did just that, making millions of dollars off the selling of pet rocks. But the last 30 years have seen an explosion of commercial-free TV, radio, cable stations, and of course the internet. It has exploded the media world into a million pieces, creating much smaller audiences in millions of places and making the distance between day one and day X, where business can realize a profit, even more unpredictable. The result is that the traditional media of TV, radio, and newspapers have repeatedly for more than 15 years have had to charge more money for less viewers, readers, and listeners from their advertisers. Less eyeballs for more money is the very definition of a badly broken model. That's like me saying I want to go to work for you, but I want you to pay me more money for less work each day I show up. Along came Google. And Google is 16 years old or so now, and now worth about $350 billion. Google's brilliance wasn't its algorithms, because others had created search engine algorithms before Google. And it wasn't the fact that Google used pay-per-click advertising, because that too had been invented prior to Google. The brilliance of Google was that they said, let the free market take over. And when you look at the ads on Google that run along the top and down the right-hand side when you type in something to search for, you'll see that there is a literal competition among businesses for your business. The business that bids the most goes to the top of the list and hence gets the most prominent position and theoretically the most clicks. And that is the genius of Google, because Google could have said every click on every word is $1 or $2. But the decision they made way back when was this. Now, if you go to Google and type in mesothelioma lawyer into a Google search, you will get some ads along the top and down the right-hand side. If you click on the first ad, chances are you'll cost that law firm close to $200 per click. Conversely, if you type in something like Peoria landscaper into a Google search and click on one of those ads, you will cost that advertiser maybe 50 cents. See the difference? Why? Google made the decision to let the market decide the value of words through the simple concept of supply and demand. In so doing, they literally shifted currency on the internet from dollars to words. Along came Craigslist. Craigslist took on the most powerful print media corporations on earth and literally now has close to 80% of the world's classified advertising. How? Why? Craigslist made almost all of the classifieds free. They realized that there is one thing no business can compete with, which is free. And now Craigslist does about $300 million a year, reportedly, in classified advertising while charging only for a handful of categories, giving hundreds of categories of classified advertising ads away for free. No one, including the most powerful print media corporations on earth, could compete or can compete with free. In all this chaos, a new medium was created, the daily deals. What happened is the media world exploded into a million pieces and the big media guys started charging more for less every year for 15 years as the small businesses got burped out of the system. And now Groupon, Living Social, and thousands more daily deal sites have popped up. Now they work like this. They focus on the needs of the small business that can no longer afford to advertise on TV, radio, newspapers. Now, use an example. An Italian restaurant, say in San Antonio, signs up and must offer $100 of food for $50 to do the Groupon. Groupon blasts its enormous database and 300 people maybe pay $50 to get the $100 of food. But Groupon keeps half of the $50. And now the restaurant is giving up $100 of food for $25. But guess what? The waiters, the busboys, and bartenders who weren't seeing much business are now happy because they're making tips. And the owner says, well, what the heck? I can't afford TV, radio, and newspaper. I have no other options for bringing in new business. He's told, sorry, the daily deal model works off large numbers. And you can only advertise with us every 6 or 12 or 18 months. So that does not work for the small business either. Advertise once every 6 months or so and lose money on every sale betting that you can turn the customers into repeat business. You know, as we say in Texas, that dog don't hunt. This will sound very familiar to you. Let's look at Groupon. Groupon just had its IPO a few months back. It's now worth around $16 billion or $10 billion or whatever, wherever. I hadn't looked at it lately. So the investors are happy. But everyone else is not. Groupon lost $1 billion last year because they operate with over 10,000 employees. The advertiser loses money on every sale, and the consumer has no choice. They're told today you get to buy Italian food, and tomorrow you get a massage. This, too, is a badly broken model, not working for anyone but the investment community. Sound familiar? But they've proven one thing, and as we sat there creating Gobza over the last few years, it suddenly came to us. Groupon, Living Social, and all the rest send out over 1 billion, with a B, emails a day. And they're proving one thing over and over and over and over. The consumer will pay directly for the cost of advertising if there is a direct and immediate benefit. And if that's true, and it is, and if the model of paying more for less is an incredibly broken and vulnerable model, and if we show up with a totally free advertising medium where no business need risk a dime on advertising ever again, then we might well do what we set out to do, people. Change the way commerce works by changing the way businesses get more business. We have a free advertising medium like Craigslist, but we don't charge businesses anything, ever. We have a free market enterprise like Google where all businesses compete for free to get new business. And we took the concept of consumers paying directly for the cost of advertising via coupons and created a new advertising medium instead. With Gobza, all businesses get free advertising forever. This is our model. No more risk for any business, big or small, on advertising dollars. For example, the same Italian restaurant with Groupon, forced to give $100 of food for $50 and collect only $25 of the 50 once a year, could go to Gobza. And if they want, they could offer the same 50% off or 0% off or 90% off, whatever they want to do. And they can do that on a 24/7 basis. The consumer finding out about Gobza pays Gobza maybe $2 when they want to go to the restaurant and then saves the 50% off on their meal when they're ready to go to the restaurant. The customer gets what they want when they want it. The small business got a customer without risking $1 for sales, and Gobza made only $2 for connecting the two, which makes the business more money. Gobza works on the computer and, of course, on tablets and iPhones and smartphones. It geolocates you. Let's say you type in ITAL because you're looking for that Italian food, and you select Italian restaurants, and voila. You have a competition for your choice of Italian food where restaurants are ranked by what percentage off they are willing to give you, the customer. The customer now has a choice of Italian food when they want Italian food, and they may choose to go to Carrabba's further away or Mario's close by to get the Gobza offer that they want. The customer simply clicks Gobza and pays Gobza the $2 or $3, whatever it ends up being. Gobza makes that as gross revenue, and the customer receives the Gobza verification order to get the deal at the restaurant. So with Gobza, the business gets free advertising, but the consumer of just about anything gets what they want when they want it for less, because we've got a free market competition going for their spending that is literally free. And yes, it also works for business to business companies, as we already have oil field and commercial wall covering, interior designers, among others, signing up with Gobza. With Gobza, all businesses compete for free simply by shifting the dollars that they would normally put 100% at risk with old world media into offers and incentives for customers. This is nothing new in advertising. How many businesses are offering dollars off or percentages off in every TV, radio, and newspaper ad anyway? Why not let the customer access it themselves when they want it for free? All made possible by the customer paying Gobza directly for the cost of advertising. And that's not the best part. Remember, we said Gobza is free advertising plus free viral marketing. The nature of the internet is viral, and a 100% no-risk advertising medium only needs one thing to be successful: buyers. And if the very nature of the internet is viral passage, where do buyers come from? Now, have you seen this video here on YouTube? When we took this snapshot, it had over 428 million viewers. How did it get this many views? Right? One person passed it to another for free via email and Twitter and Facebook. This is the nature of the internet. And no one has figured out how to monetize viral passage of a link until now. With Gobza, all organizations, people, and businesses sign up for free and receive a trackable, unique Gobza link. You can pass that link to anyone, any database, any chamber, any church, any nonprofit, any person, any business, big or small. And here's how everyone makes money from viral passage and free advertising. You've just signed up for free. You get your Gobza link, and you can pass it to any business, nonprofit, or person. It's free. You are about to see how to create your own universe of buyers and sellers, how yours, what we call your Gobzaverse, will interact with everyone else's in this new free medium. With Gobza, you get 4 waves. Remember, the internet is about connectivity, and advertising is about the opposite of connectivity. It's about interruption. You're only helping to connect buyers and sellers for free so that we all win. So you start sending your Gobza link out via Twitter, email, Facebook, and more. You post it on your website. You start arranging meetings for the Gobza speakers if you want to speak to. You send people to this webinar, and you start signing up schools and booster clubs and alumni associations and pizza chains and big corporations and oilfield supply companies and valve companies and welders. And if they don't need free advertising, they need to raise money for their organization, or they need to create more revenue for their business or their families, so you can pass it to any type of business or organization. Now, this never stops for you. You can keep signing up people forever, businesses forever, organizations forever. So now on your first wave, going out to the right, we have shoppers or buyers or people. Going out to the left, we have the nonprofits, associations, churches, and all business, big and small, that you signed up just by sending them your link, and they click it, sign up for free. Now, they all get their own Gobza links too. They too start to pass their own viral links to what will now comprise your second wave and their first wave. Every business, church, organization, school they sign up shows up over here in your second wave on the left-hand side. And every buyer, consumer, shopper signed up by any of the schools, churches, people, nonprofits, anything signed up in your first wave, they fall into your second wave on the right side. Okay? Now, guess what happens next, right? Every business, school, church, nonprofit, and person on your second wave, they get their Gobza links, and they start signing up more. They start signing up more schools, alumni associations, churches, nonprofits, and businesses big and small, and more people. And now you have a third wave of buyers and sellers that belong to you. And of course, your third wave of both businesses and nonprofits on the left-hand side and people on the right-hand side pass their Gobza links to more schools and businesses and churches. And they also pass it to more single moms and people and shoppers and buyers. And one morning, sometime in the near future, a lady wakes up who is way out here on your fourth wave, and she needs a new washer and dryer. And she decides to Gobza before she buys, and she finds Home Depot will give her $100 off on a washer and dryer with a Gobza offering in her hand or on her cell phone. So she uses the same process she's used on iTunes 1,000 times and presses the Gobza button, and voila. She has her savings on what she wants when she wants it, and Home Depot just got a buyer risk-free. And it doesn't matter that Home Depot is in someone else's Gobzaverse. You just helped connect buyers and sellers together for free. And now 16% of that $6 is eligible to be automatically deposited to the connectors that help bring this buyer together with this seller for free. And now, drum roll please, the church For example, you passed your Gobza link to, that passed their Gobza link to this single mom, that passed her Gobza link to this pizza chain down the street, that put their Gobza link on their pizza boxes, which caused this woman to sign on with Gobza all for free through free viral passage, and also caused her to Gobza before she bought her washer and dryer, because by then she knows that Gobza is about making businesses compete for your business with no risk whatsoever. And the pizza chain makes 2% of the $6, and the single mom makes 2% of the $6, and the church makes 2% of the $6, and you make 2% of the $6, and the next day she's going to buy a couch, and the day after that a ring, and the day after that a hamburger, and the day after that a car. Oh, I almost forgot that the vice president of Lowe's down here, who sent his Gobza link to the vice president of Home Depot, also made 2%. And the homeschool mom right here that sent the VP at Lowe's her Gobza link also made, 2% of the $6. And another pizza chain, a little local chain that passed their Gobza link via their own box toppers to the homeschool mom, makes their 2%. And the church that passed it to their loyal pizza chain supporter makes the last 2%. And how many more sales is Home Depot going to make risk-free that day, the next day, on lumber, on power tools? How many sales will those pizza stores make? How many purchases will that homeschool mom make? Which needs only one thing to succeed: critical mass. We can't turn on sales in any city until we have enough buyers and sellers in that market, right? When Groupon decided to launch, they had the same issue. All media does. Just remember, with Gobza, we are the media. You and I, we're the media, people and businesses. With the internet and Twitter and Facebook and email and databases, we are the new media. So Groupon spent millions of dollars on advertising that said things like up to 90% off on just about everything. Click here. So I went in, I entered my email address, and then I got a pop-up that said, so sorry, nothing just yet. We'll get back to you. Then 5 months later, I got an email that said, today you can buy $100 of Italian food for $50. And that sounded like a good deal, even though the restaurant was 30 miles from my home. And 3 years later, I've yet to buy one of these. So what we're doing right now is building up critical mass. The first cities to get enough buyers and sellers will have sales turned on. And unlike any other new enterprise, there is really no disadvantage to going first with Gobza. In fact, there's a huge disadvantage to waiting. Why? Because everyone you know, every business you know, every organization with thousands and millions in their database is also finding out about Gobza. And I'll tell you what I told one of the top people at one of the top corporations in USA with 40 million people in his database. Today you've got a chance to send an email to your database for the first time, not trying to sell them another widget. I'm leaving what it is and their name out. And you can pass this on to them so that they can create income to themselves. And then everything that they buy from then on, if they sign up through your link, you're making commissions on them, no matter what they're buying. In other words, someone is going to pass a Gobza link to your best friend, and it might as well be you. Because what we've started is a free market revolution that is literally free for everyone to use. It is a new advertising medium that works off the one thing that has disappeared from the model of attracting new business, which is at the heart of the problem in the economy. The ability for businesses to compete fairly for customers, where having the most money isn't the only qualification for success. Here's a sneak preview of the brains of Gobza. The business in this example is a Toyota dealer with locations in 5 cities. You can see that they are looking at their Camry sales with Gobza. You can see that they have been offering dollars off at different amounts in each location. They can change that offer in 2 seconds and immediately post it. They can delete it anytime. Then they can click My Sales and see their product sales for any date range and in any market that they are advertising in. Now they, in any business, big or small, can run their advertising with these 6 columns, I promise you. They can look at their product sales and see how many sales they have in the selected date range while looking at their competitors as a whole, not individually, but as a whole. They then see their percentage of sales. In this example, a few things stand out immediately. First, they're only getting 6.55% of Camry sales in the market selected, in this case Houston. They're getting 34.6% of the Tundra sales. Why? Well, they see that they are offering $850 off on the Tundra, whereas the average offer made by their competitors has been $250, which tells them they can drop their offer down to $300 off and still get most of the sales, right? But they also see that in order to get more Camry sales, the bread and butter for a Toyota dealer, by the way, they are going to have to give the customer a better deal and start offering, say, $500 off if they want to get more sales, none of which costs them anything until a customer shows up with a Gobza offer. So now the race is on. Only one person or church or business will sign up a Home Depot. Only one person or nonprofit or corporation will sign up your best friend through a Gobza link. And everyone you know, every business, every nonprofit is in the address book and database of literally hundreds and thousands of other people, corporations, churches, utility companies, nonprofits, chambers of commerce, alumni associations, trade unions, and many, many more. And whoever gets to them first, to click first, converts them, and everyone, every business, they sign up into a perpetual residual income stream. And the only way to get in is through someone or something already in. You have to go back to the person or business or nonprofit that told you about this, and they will help you register with Gobza, because that's the only way in. So thanks for attending. Once you are signed up, you'll be given everything needed to roll out Gobza. People are telling us things like, I'm taking my Facebook and Twitter links off my website because they don't make me any money. Why are businesses using Facebook and Twitter? It's not making any money, right? And if it does, it's difficult to track. Well, we're all doing Twitter and Facebook because everyone else is. Let's face it, but they're fun too. With Gobza, whoever clicks your link can turn into a cash flow for you and your corporation or organization. People are changing their email signatures and adding Gobza links. We have TV networks and radio stations and churches and alumni associations and convenience store chains and commercial wall covering companies and single moms in countries in China and Australia and South Africa, and hotels and churches and plumbers and carpenters and realtors and associations planning to roll out their Gobza with their Gobza links. And we want you to be a part of this. We are doing this to help change things, to fix things. We are doing this to level the playing field. That's why we're doing this. Even Google's great free market system still rewards the company with the most money. With Gobza, it's the company giving the customer the best bang for the buck that wins. And if that company does a bad job but gets a lot of sales with Gobza, guess what happens? Great advertising only makes a bad business go broke faster, because the more they advertise, the more people find out about them and the more they tell others. So get back in touch with whoever referred you to Gobza and get started. You'll also want to see how the money flows, another presentation, and whoever connected to you to this webinar can give you the link to watch that 10-minute video after you register. You'll also get a link when you sign up with strategy tips, emails, tweets, Facebook posts, graphics, and much more. Thank you. My name again is Tim Dillard. You can get me at tim.dillard@gobza.com. I'm also available to speak online or in person to your group, your organization, chamber, church, and more. And yes, it's free. Make sure to get the link to watch how the money flows. It's only 10 minutes long. Thank you very much.